Okay, so we're going to be measuring electric field throughout the house. So we've got our NFA. We're going to set it up to auto mode, TRMS, and we're going to use electric 3D. I'm going to turn it on. And I'm using the potential free one with the rod, so hopefully we can read this. And here is our chart we want to fill out. So basically, let me just put this here. We're going to be using the potential free, so we want to be under 1.5. Ideally, it would be under 0.3, but we'll see where we are. All right, so as we stand right here in the hallway, let me zoom in. That's a little better. So we're already at high electric fields, and we kind of know that because this outlet right here is actually got wiring error. So as you can see, as I get closer, oops, it's going to go up even higher. So right at this, we're at over 100. So in the middle here, we're still high at 18.2, and we have everything turned on because we want to measure it with everything turned on. We want to measure the field. So just going down the hallway, it does go down. Here I'm at 6. And into the bedroom. We're still high at 8.6, and we know that there is actually an outlet there that is causing problems. So as I get closer, you see that going up to over 30. So on the bed, we're at 3.5, 4, and we're going to do a mapping on this as well. There we're at 3.4, 2.1, and 1.5. So we're going to do a mapping of the bed afterwards. These are just some quick ones. And as you notice, as we get closer to things, it will go up because it gets coupled with the electrical circuits. All right, so bedroom number 3. So let me just put that there. So right here, we're at 8.3, 11, 10. In the middle, we're at 10, 10, 9. And we did plug in this bed because it's a sleep number bed, just to show the impact in case people will be using it. And then just walking through really high here. This TV is emitting over 148. So obviously, if you're close to it. And we also know that there's electrical problems here, the wiring problems. So as we get closer, I have to get closer. Actually, here we're at 2.9, 2.5. And just to demonstrate the fact that this extension cord should not be there, and especially since the outlet is right by the bed there. So you're going to see it goes all the way up over 100. So somebody's bed head here, they're exposed to high electrical fields. So you can see here we're at 68, 72, and then it goes down as we walk away from that cable. But if your head is there, you're going to get exposed to that. All right. So in the hallway, we're still at 10, 14. Here we go down to in the 6s. Bathroom. We're still high. Obviously, if we get closer, you're going to notice it's going to go up to about 17. We're still high here at 4.2. Oops. Over 30. And this is where the circuit breaker is and the Wi-Fi. Obviously, if we get closer, it's going to go super high. We're at 13, 14. All right. So we've done the downstairs. Oh, I don't think I did the master. Okay, we're going to go into the master. And just walking in, you can hear it. I have it pretty loud. So let me turn it on. We're at 20. Here in the bathroom, we're at about 6.0. We're at 4.2. All right. So as we get closer to the master bed, especially here, we're at 7.9. And as you get closer to this outlet, which we know has a problem, you're going to see that it's going up to 48, 49. And then this bed still at 8, about 6.2, 5.7. So we're going to do a bed mapping as well, but these are just some ideas. So this is the lowest we've seen, which is 1.4. And then if we have it here, we're looking at 2.5. In the middle, it goes down to 1.1. That's the lowest one we've heard. So again, we don't have the bed plugged in. I can plug it in and demonstrate. And as you get closer to the outlet, it's going to increase. But they're not plugging the bed in, so we're just going to leave it at that. Very high fields back here. We're at 170, 180. So those are high magnetic fields there, or electric fields, because of all the outlets. But But around here, we're still high. 7, 8. All right, we're going to go upstairs. So going up the stairs, we're at 2.9. And as we come up, we're at 10 to right here, we're at 12. And so we want to basically outline some of the high intensity areas so people are aware. So you don't want to be near this kind of stuff. This is at over 100 basically. If you get closer, you're going to go even higher. But even sitting here, you are at 14. We're at 4 here, sitting on the couch. 3.6, 3.0, 5.9. It's starting to increase because we have the cables for this lamp going actually down here. So if I get closer here, it's going to go up, as you can see, because the outlet is down there. All right, so here we're at 13, above 13. We're at 9.7. Here, let's measure the head area. We're at 15. Here, it's even higher, 21, because we're next to this cord here. As you can see, as I get closer, it's going all the way up in the 120s. So the suggestion would be, obviously, if you look at this, anybody close to this, you're at over 100. So the suggestion for this, the person that's sitting here is going to get a lot more exposure. So you can see here we're over 23. So the suggestion would be, since these are the light cables for the upstairs, you can actually plug that somewhere upstairs in the loft to get away from the electric fields that are coupling here. I wasn't able to get in and access the outlets there, but we can test it out here. So you can see how high it goes up. Almost 60, 58. And here nothing is plugged in right now, but we're still at 4.1. And 2.5. $7.1. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate actually having the laptop here, because that's one of the things we're looking for, is where to set up an office. And this area was discussed. So here, to keep some things in mind, this is metal, so it will couple with electrical currents. And right now it's at 12, nothing's plugged in, so that's just something to be aware of. And this outlet's at 16, so around here, we're still high at 5.2. So when you're sitting here in the computer, anything like these cords, so as you get closer to it, you can see how it goes up, because they all have electric current going through it, so you're going to get exposed to, and you can see as you get closer to the charger, it goes up over 100. So you don't want that too close to your computer, and we highly suggest grounding mat while you're working on the computer. All right, so we're still at, this is at 3.0. And if you check these here, this is at 13.9. As we get closer, but just trying to measure where people sit. So this is at 20. This is even higher because of the cords. So still high fields. Before I smash everything here. Okay, so this is the kitchen. And you can see we don't have any of the appliances plugged in. If they were plugged in, you would notice more. Obviously, as we get closer to the microwave, it's going to be higher. So 4.2. And then we're going to go up. And this was already actually discussed. This outlet right here has mega issues, magnetic fields. And you can see here, it's literally over 160. It goes all the way up to 328. So this, once you plug everything in, you're also going to get exposed to higher electric fields here, coupled with that. So we highly recommend, there's no GFCI in the kitchen, to get that changed to a GFCI. And here we're at 7.4, 13. Obviously, we're getting closer to the refrigerator as we get closer. It's going up to 13.2. So since we already know where the wiring errors are, those need to be fixed first in order to come back and really look at it, because there's wiring errors all throughout, and you'll see that in the report. So that's the electrical fields. Okay, regarding the electrical field readings, so here is the Healthy Home Building Biology Evaluation Guidelines, as you saw in the video. And these are the measurements that we got. So throughout the video, you could see where we got all these measurements. As you can see, there is not one spot in the house that is in the slight or okay area. All of them are in severe or extreme, unfortunately, areas. And those are due to the wiring errors that we discovered. Okay, what are electrical fields and where do they come from? They're basically created by voltage. The electric pressure or potential energy in your home's wiring system, they exist around electrical wiring in the walls, floors, and ceilings. Power cords and extension cords, that's one of the things that we demonstrated. You have one in the bedroom and, of course, one upstairs. So even so they'll have electric fields even when the devices are turned off. This is the same thing when you have the lamps, even though you may think, oh, I can just turn off the lamp. That doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, there's still electrical fields. There's still electricity coming from those power cords into the lamp. So you want to unplug the lamp. Or you can get timers where it automatically shuts off the power from those outlets. Electrical appliances and devices, obviously, the more you plug in, the more electrical fields that you're going to be having. So we did unplug the items here. But again, when everything is being used, these measurements are going to be completely different. So we suggest when, obviously the season is in place and when there's people here, we can come back and remeasure to get better understanding of everything, like indoor air quality. Indoor air quality also gets completely impacted. When there are people here, you're vacuuming, you're cooking, all those particulates kind of go up in the air. So we want to just talk about those kinds of things. Okay, lamps, alarm clocks, and other bedside electronics, such as chargers, other things like that near the beds. We want to move them away from the bed. So just think the electric fields come out approximately 6 feet from the walls. So they decline as you step away from it. That's why we have that image, this image. So it's the strongest at the source, and they do decline. Light fixtures, especially those using dimmer switches, electric baseboard heaters, improperly grounded or ungrounded electrical systems. So as we stated, there are a lot of them that are not grounded. There are pretty much in every bedroom, there's electrical wiring issues as well as upstairs. All right, how can electrical fields affect the body? These are very, very detrimental. We call them vertical energetic fields that are detrimental to humans. I know there's questions about how come, some people say we're electrical beings and how can electricity be bad? It's the levels and it's the waveform and it is the amount of exposure that you're getting, especially if you're getting multiple electrical fields, and the compounding effect is very detrimental. They induce voltage on the human body. This is what we measure with the body voltage. And they create subtle stresses on the body's electrical system, potentially disrupting cellular communications as well. They can potentially affect melatonin production and sleep quality. When present in sleeping areas, it can cause increased sensitivity in some individuals, leading to symptoms like headaches, fatigues, or irritability. So insomnia, depression, these are all the things that we see when we go into people's homes and look at the fields that their head or their body is constantly being exposed to. So your body can only handle so much, right? If you think of a bucket, all these things are coming in, and if the bucket gets full, it needs to give out somewhere. So you want to lower as much as possible all these detrimental energies so that your body can actually focus on healing and not fighting these energies. Produce more significant effect during sleep when the body's in repair and regeneration mode. That's why in building biology, we focus in the bedrooms first and foremost, because this is where you heal, where you repair, where you rejuvenate. So those are the areas that we definitely want to make sure that we bring all the fields down, move things away from the bed, change the metal in the beds, metal frames, etc., to create a healthy environment. You can also see other effects on the Bioinitiative report. There are just a ton of them out there, but too much electrical fields is never enough, never good, It's detrimental. Practical steps to reduce. So in sleeping areas, again, we want to keep all the electronics away from the bed, at least 4 to 6 feet. So as we stated, the electric fields come all the way out to approximately 6 feet. So kind of keep that in mind with that circular image that we showed. Unplug devices and use the power strip with on and off switch. Consider turning off circuit breakers to bedrooms at night, or use a battery-powered alarm clocks instead of plug-in models. I know a lot of people use their phones nowadays. You can actually put your phone on airplane mode and still have your alarm. A lot of people don't know that. They think they have to have their phone on full blast. And just think about all the exposure you're getting from cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth while you're sleeping. So put it on. If you have to have it close by, put it on airplane mode and at least put it away from your head and away from your body as much as possible. Throughout the home, replace dimmer switches with regular switches. Use shielded electrical cables for wiring new projects. Ensure proper grounding of electrical systems. This is why we want to put the number one thing that needs to happen in this house is to fix the electrical problems, the wiring issues. Consider installing demand switches that automatically cut power when not in use. So these are basically switches that remotely you can turn off specific switches. So those are also available for purchase. That is, you can decide what switches, what circuits you want to turn off at night. If we could, unfortunately, we didn't really quite get the master down. So if we could figure out what those switches were after we fix the electrical issues, then you could also do the demand switches. Keep furniture away from walls containing wiring. Obviously, that is pretty hard, but especially bad wiring errors, you want to keep away. If you have wires running through like power cords, etc., just be aware that there's going to be electrical fields for people who are sitting there. So if you have elderly people sitting or young kids sitting, they're going to be coupling into it. For sensitive individuals, consider electric field shielding options like the paints and fabrics, which we went over in the other video, and try grounded sleep systems like earthing sheets, grounding mats, etc. So those are some of the things. Grounding mats are really, really good, especially when you're working on computers. And when we were talking about the office space, since there is a metal staircase going up, you definitely want to make sure that that is properly grounded and you have a grounding mat if you're going to be working there. All right, so I just want to address some of the common misconceptions to clarify. Electrical fields exist even when the devices are turned off but still plugged in. This is why we tell people to unplug, because just turning off your lamps or your appliances is not eliminating electric fields. Surge protectors don't reduce electric fields, they just protect from power surges. So as we demonstrated in this video, you saw that the surge protectors and extension cords have electrical fields, and that will impact. Energy efficient devices don't necessarily create lower electric fields. So this is one of the big misconceptions. People think, oh, I have energy efficient devices, so I don't have all this. That is not the case. Again, anytime you have electricity going through, there are going to be electric fields. Simply earthing devices doesn't always reduce the fields if the wiring issues exist. This is why fixing the wiring issues is number one. Understanding these basics helps people make informed decisions about creating healthier electrical environments in their homes, particularly in sleeping areas where we spend approximately 1/3 of our lives. This is where we heal, this is where we rejuvenate, so this is our number one priority. All right, so some of the recommendations, obviously, is fixing the wiring errors throughout the home. We want to reduce as much of the electrical fields as much as possible, especially in the bedrooms. Please unplug the beds, remove all the cords, chargers, etc. that are close to the bed, put them 4 to 6 feet away. Reroute power cords so that they're not close to people, especially people that will be sitting in those chairs that we outlined, or even on the couch. You can unplug things when you're not using it, because there's plenty of light, and at night obviously you just need to be aware of those. And you can also get grounded extension cords, etc. Use grounding as much as possible, and always unplug TVs and appliances when they're not in use. That's just a safety thing anyways. It's a good habit to get into. Just unplug. As you saw, even the downstairs TV had huge electric fields. And there's no GFCI in the kitchen, and that one outlet has very high electric and magnetic fields, so that should be looked at. All right, that is it for electrical fields. Thank you, and if you have any questions, comments, please let me know. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your support, and make it a blessed day. Thank you.